Hello and welcome everybody, it's Karen. I've got a couple of cards to share today. I've used the Whimsy Stamps Christmas Convicts stamp set, which you can see there. And I've stamped both those images out onto white cardstock. Now I used Memento Tuxedo Black ink. You want to use a hybrid ink that will be good with both Copic markers and water. And so I've colored in those images with Copic markers, as you can see there. But I've got a little bowl of warm water and just a regular tea bag there, which I'm getting wet in the water, and I'm squeezing out most of the water. And I just wanted to age these posters a little bit to make it look like they've been out there for a while. So I'm just dabbing that tea bag on. I'm not really going over where I've used the Copic markers, just around them basically. And then I just misted the back with a bit of water because I just really wanted to crumble these up. I was really trying to make these look like they had aged for a while and had been out there, and these two characters were wanted. So I'm really crumpling that up, and then I took my tea bag and sort of went over where the wrinkles were. And then I set everything aside to dry. And then once it was dry, I trimmed out along the stamped lines that are there. Now I'm going to use a couple of the papers from the 6x6 Dickens paper pack here. I've picked these two out and I've trimmed them down to be 5.5 inch square because my card base is going to be 5.5 inches square. Now my idea is that I was going to put this, there's that little post down on the bottom right of the card front there. And I wanted Santa to be poking out the window or peeking out the window. So I am just cutting a little slit along that windowsill, just wide enough for Santa's head to fit through that so that he can be, stuck down inside and make it look like he's peeking out through the window. So I'm just tucking him in there, sort of getting him down a little bit so he looks like he's really guilty. I don't know if he does or not, but I think he is. And then once I had him where I wanted him to go, I just added a little bit of glue in behind his hat and glued him to the front where I wanted him to go. And then on the back, I could add just a little bit more glue underneath his beard there so he stays put. And then I added glue to the whole card front, and I'm attaching that down to the card base here. Now for that wanted poster, I've added some foam tape to the back, and I'm going to just set this up on that post on the card front itself. It is a little off over that line, but because it's a 5.5 inch card, my envelopes are 6 inches, so it was going to fit in just fine. Now I've added that naughty and the bad list to the front, and just a quick sentiment on the inside. And that's all I did for this card. Which I thought was kind of fun. Okay, I'm doing much the same for this second card. Now I'm cutting a little slit along the trees here. It'll make a bit more sense in a minute, but I'm going on both sides of these two trees here. So it's actually 3 lines in total, and now you can see I've fed Rudolph, my head of Rudolph, through those trees. And because his nose didn't stick out quite far enough, I've cut it off in the back, and I can just pull it forward just a tiny little bit just to make it so there's a little bit more red there. He sort of hides quite well in the trees. And so I wanted to make it a bit more noticeable that he was hiding there. And so then on the back now I can start to glue the rest of him in place. Now there is a little extra of Rudolph there that I will trim off, but I was just trying to make sure that all his bits and pieces were firmly glued in place before I took off the excess. So that's what I'm doing there, just trimming off the rest of his body that I didn't need. And then I have created a post from the Slimline Fence die set that you can see there. I just cut that out of some brown cardstock, and I'll attach that down to the card front. And so then I could just trim off the excess from that post and make sure it was all glued down at the edges there. And then I could glue the whole card front down to my card base, which again is a 5.5 inch square base. Now I've popped that poster up on some foam tape again, just to make it stand out a little bit. And I took a sentiment from the Simple Sentiment Strips Holidays stamp set, and that's it there. So I've just added that to the poster. And because I felt like Rudolph was really hiding in the trees, I googled reindeer hoof prints, and that's kind of what they look like. So I just added a few just to make it a bit more obvious that that was Rudolph hiding in the bushes. So there's a couple of ideas for you guys. It's such a fun stamp set. I hope you'll give it a try. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope everybody's having a great day. Bye.